The significance of our performance started with 1996, and so football, track and field. Well, like Chema Juma, it was not necessarily track; it was more like a field yes. event. But those are the areas where I think perceptively Nigerians anticipated or looked forward to medals, winning medals. But looking at again the context of our preparations, there was no way we're going to get medals.
Is it that the administrators are not expecting medals like the athletes are expecting medals? Are they not on the same page?
What we are seeing, the outcome of all these things, this shoddiness and disorganization we are seeing, it shows that they are not on the same page. And because it's like the administrators are looking out for one thing, the athletes are looking out for another thing. So that tells us simply that they're not on the same page. And that's why I had to point out regards the issue of structure. Because if we are repeating, we're actually repeating Nigeria, generally speaking, Nigeria, we've had this penchant of repeating history.
We don't learn
and anticipate the future, and that's why we see a lot of things that are happening. People think that they just happen within in the spur of the moment. No, they have taken time over the course. They've worked with these things. These activities have actually worked with time for us to now start seeing them happen right before our very eyes. So it has to do with structure. It has to do with the fact that many people who claim to be involved in the sports industry clearly do not have a clue as to what of the opportunities embedded in sports. Because if we really want to look at the value, if we check out globally, from a global point of view, I know China, the president has already anticipated that the value of the sports industry to be at over $560 billion. If we talk about the United States, that is going to be more than that. They will not go to Europe. If we go to Europe combined, look at the likes of Spain, Germany, Italy, England, the Netherlands. The combined value of the sports industry is going to be huge. Nigeria we have a strong internal market. We have the population. We actually have the raw talents. We keep on saying these same things. We actually have these raw. But the question is, what are we doing with our raw materials? We're not processing them.
We have to.
We're not channeling them. We're not harnessing them for us to get valuable results. And for the Olympics, for us to expect medals at this Rio, we ought to have started from our last outing in London. It's not something that we should be doing about a year ago. I recall a comment by the Secretary General of the NOC, Nigerian Olympic Committee, where he said categorically that any athlete who comes out with a good result is down to individual performance and not collective. That says a lot.
Well, you were here with us when we analyzed our performance in London, you and your twin brother, and we made a point of bringing it to the fore that most countries have left London and have started to prepare for Rio. Yes. We said this in 2012, but it seemed like nobody was listening.
Let's even go, sorry to cut you in, let's even go to Great Britain, for example. At Atlanta 96, Britain, by their own standard, they finished outside 10 range on the medal table, and they went back home and said, "Hey, this is not the right thing. This is not where we should be.
This is not good enough."
As at today in Rio, they're in top 4. They matched action with words. They didn't just say something.
No, they matched words with action.
Words with action in that case. But what we do, we resort to saying a lot and doing less, if not doing nothing. And the saddening part again is that when we expect results, and what we do is that we now turn to, because we're a spiritual nation, very religious.
God.
Okay.
Miracles.
Danusa, 64 years after, is there any hope that this recurrent decimal would change or would shift?
I don't know how to answer that, whether I'm a spiritualist or something, but with the facts on the ground, I am very, very sad to tell you that it's going to really be difficult for us to get it right. Even starting from the administration of the game, I don't really have to question the leadership of this country, but if you look at it, since the advent of democracy, the sort of sports minister, that is where we even get it wrong, that they have been appointing for this country, leaves much to be desired. Most of them, in fairness to them, although they are politicians, they learn on the job. They learn about sports. They even come to know some of these athletes when they assume office. And that cannot really help us in any way. As I was talking of Atlanta Olympics, in Atlanta Olympics, in fairness to him, Jim Nwobodo was the sports minister by then, if I am right. And the late Air Commodore Samson Emeka Omerua, may so rest in peace, was the NFS chairman. And these were really people that were involved in sports, knew or know about nitty-gritty of sports, and they really identify with the athletes. So if you are not in the system, you may not even know when players ask for their allowance or the athletes ask for their requirements. You may think they are unnecessarily putting up a show that will be detrimental to the interests of the nation. I'm particularly worried and even concerned of look at somebody like Mikel Obi, the captain of our dream team. The guy sacrificed his premiership game. The premiership is commencing this weekend for duty for this country. Yet, at the end of the day, if he doesn't show up in future games, Nigerian, particularly the media, unfortunately, we start branding him with all sorts of names. So until we get it right, just to come back to your question, from the administration, then things will continue this way.
Okay.
And
thank you,
Danusa. Idea.
Thank you, Danusa. Thank you very much. Danusa Ocholi speaking to us from our studios in Abuja. Very gloomy picture we've been painted by all our analysts, but we're still hopeful. There's football and there's track and field still coming up in the last week of the Olympics.